Peppa Pig, Peppa's Dinosaur Party. Peppa and George were visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. "Grandpa," cheered Peppa. "Hello, Peppa, hello, George," said Grandpa Pig. "Dinosaur, said George, roaring. "And hello to you too, Mr. Dinosaur," said Grandpa Pig, chuckling. Suddenly there was a roar. "Roar! Ah!" shouted Grandpa Pig, leaping up into the air. Granny Pig was dressed as a dinosaur. "My goodness, Granny Pig," said Grandpa Pig, "you gave me a shock." "Sorry," said Granny Pig, "I'm having a dinosaur day today." "Dinosaur." Granny Pig explained that her friends were coming round to pretend it was the time of the dinosaurs. "It's called a historical reenactment," she said. "Sounds like a party," said Grandpa Pig. "It's not a party," said Granny Pig. "It's very serious. I am dressed as a Tyrannosaurus." She gave Peppa and George their costumes. "Peppa is an Allosaurus and George is a Stegosaurus." Just then, Grandad Dog arrived in his tow truck. "Rrr," he growled. "Hello, everyone." "What are you supposed to be?" asked Grandpa Pig. "I'm a Triceratops," said Grandad Dog proudly. Peppa and George looked at the big purple dinosaur on the back of the tow truck and wondered what it was. The purple dinosaur rose up into the air. "Hello," said Granny Sheep and Granny Wolf from underneath it. "Grrr!" "Ah," said Grandpa Pig, "a Brontosaurus." "Actually," said Granny Pig, "this is an Apatosaurus." "Wonderful," said Grandpa Pig. "I'll pop the kettle on." Dinosaurs followed Granny Pig to the back garden. "This is how the world looked a long time ago, when there were dinosaurs," she told them. "Let's pretend we were there," said Grandad Dog. "What do we do?" asked Peppa. "Stomp and roar," said Grandad Dog. "I see the party's started," said Grandpa Pig, bringing out the tea. "It's not a party," said Granny Pig. Grampy Rabbit arrived. "Hello!" he shouted. "Sorry I'm late." "Why are you dressed as a caveman?" asked Granny Pig. "Dinosaurs and cavemen go well together," replied Grampy Rabbit. Granny Pig said, "Well, actually they didn't live at the same time." But Grampy Rabbit wasn't listening. "I'm good at being a caveman," he said. "I hope you don't mind," continued Grampy Rabbit, "but I invited my daughter." Everyone felt the ground beneath them begin to shake. "Hello!" Miss Rabbit shouted down from the top of a gigantic robot dragon. Thump! The dragon nearly knocked Granny and Grandpa Pig's house over. "Oops, sorry!" cried Mrs. Rabbit. "It's a bit hard to control this thing." "That's a dragon," said Granny Pig, "not a dinosaur." Grandpa Pig watched his garden shake with the stomping. Didn't the dinosaurs die out at some point? He grumbled. Around 66 million years ago, when the world was hit by an asteroid, said Granny Pig. What's an asteroid? asked Peppa. A huge ball of rock floating through space, explained Grandad Dog. I wonder where we could get an asteroid from, said Granny Pig. Just then, Mr. Fox arrived. Hooray! Granny Pig, Peppa and George went to meet him. Hello, said Mr. Fox. I heard you were having a dinosaur party, and I thought I might be able to sell you something. I've got rubber pterodactyls, nodding herbivores. We need an asteroid, said Granny Pig. It's like a very big ball, added Peppa. Mr. Fox thought for a moment. I've got just the thing, he said, getting a deflated ball out from the back of his van. A beach ball? asked Peppa. It's a giant beach ball, announced Mr. Fox as he started to inflate it. You wait and see. Ooh, said Peppa. It is giant. Perfect, said Granny Pig once the beach ball was fully inflated. This will be an excellent asteroid. The asteroid bounced past Granny and Grandpa Pig's house and down the hill to the garden full of dinosaurs. Peppa and George raced after it as fast as they could, followed by Granny Pig and Mr. Fox. The asteroid bounced all around the garden, bumping into the dinosaurs and even the dragon. Mr. Fox turned to Granny Pig. You've got people in fancy dress, palm trees and a beach ball, he said. This is an amazing beach party. It's not a party, said Granny Pig. Mr. Fox had an idea and went back to his van. He came back with 2 big speakers on wheels. You can't have a beach party without music, he said. This is the best party ever, Granny, said Peppa. She danced and sang a song. Do the stomp, do the roar, do the dinosaur roar. Stomp, 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 roar, roar, roar. Do the dinosaur stomp, stomp, roar. Everyone had a fantastic time stomping and roaring to the music. Peppa loves dinosaur parties. Everyone loves dinosaur parties. It's not a party. The end. Peppa Pig, Best Friends. Once upon a time, Peppa's best friend, Susie Sheep, came to play. I have something to show you, said Susie. Susie held up a photograph of a baby sheep. Look, it's me, said Susie. You're not a baby, Susie, said Peppa, shaking her head. This is an old photo, Susie explained. It was taken when I was a baby. Peppa snorted. She doesn't remember Susie being a baby. That was just silly. Susie pointed at Peppa. In the olden days, you were a baby too, she said. I don't remember being a baby, says Peppa. But you were, insisted Susie. Ask your mummy. Peppa and Susie raced inside. Mummy Pig was working on the computer. Mummy, cried Peppa, Susie is making up stories. No, I'm not, Susie said. Peppa told Mummy Pig about Susie's silly idea. I don't remember being a baby, Peppa insisted. But you were a baby, Peppa, said Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig pulled up a picture of a baby pig on the computer. Who do you think this is, Peppa? She asked. Peppa thought that the baby looked like her cousin, Baby Alexander. Is it Baby Alexander? She asked. No, replied Mummy Pig. That's you as a baby, Peppa.
Wow.
Peppa was surprised. She had been a baby. Peppa and Susie giggled. Baby Peppa looked very cute. George and Daddy Pig came in to see what all the fuss was about. Look, Daddy, said Peppa, that's me the baby. I remember it, said Daddy Pig. That photo was taken on our first day in this house. What do you mean? Asked Peppa. Daddy Pig told Peppa, Susie and George that they had moved into their house when Peppa was very little. We brought all our things on top of our car, he said. Mummy Pig put up some pictures, said Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig put up a shelf, said Mummy Pig. And Grandpa made us a lovely flower garden. Peppa and Susie went outside. There was no flower garden at this house. Why don't we have a flower garden now? Peppa asked. We used to, but Daddy Pig looked after it, Mummy Pig sighed. Said Daddy Pig, embarrassed. We had the wrong kind of soil for flowers. Was Susie my friend in the olden days? Asked Peppa. Daddy Pig nodded. Of course, he said. You and Susie have always been best friends. Peppa wondered what game she played with Susie when they were little. Did we jump up and down in muddy puddles? She asked. No, Mummy Pig laughed. You were babies. You couldn't even walk yet. What did we do when we were babies? Asked Susie. You cried. You burped. And you laughed, said Mummy Pig. Susie and Peppa giggled. It must have been so silly being babies. Baby Peppa. Baby Susie. And then you grew into toddlers, continued Mummy Pig. And you played together all the time. But where was George? Peppa asked. He was a baby in my tummy, said Mummy Pig. Peppa thought for a moment. Daddy Pig's tummy was even bigger than Mummy's. Is there a baby in there? She asked. No, Peppa, chuckled Daddy Pig. This tummy is pure muscle. Soon George was born, Mummy Pig said, and Granny and Grandpa Pig bought him a very special present. Can you guess what it was, Peppa? Peppa knew just what present it had been. Mr. Dinosaur, she cried. Grr, grr, grr. Daddy Pig said that little Peppa and Susie liked to do everything together. They liked to jump, dance, and run around all over the place. Then one day, said Mummy Pig, you saw something amazing. A muddy puddle. You love jumping up and down in muddy puddles together, said Mummy Pig.
I still love muddy puddles,
cried Peppa.
Me too,
cried Susie. Peppa, George and Susie looked for the biggest muddy puddle they could find and jumped right in. Daddy Pig brought his camera. Let's take a photo of you, Susie and George now, Peppa, he said.
Yes, exclaimed Peppa, because Susie and I were best friends in the olden days and we're still best friends now.
Little or big, Peppa and Susie will always be best friends, and they will always love jumping up and down in muddy puddles. The end. Peppa Pig, Fix It Daddy Pig. The toy is broken. Daddy Pig will fix it. The wall is broken.
Oh no!
Daddy Pig will fix it. The car is broken. Daddy Pig will fix it. The screen is broken. Daddy Pig will fix it. The clock is broken. Daddy Pig will fix it. The kite is stuck. Daddy Pig will fix it. Look at that mud. Daddy Pig will fix it. Hooray for Daddy! He is the Fix-It Pig. The end. Peppa Pig, Pretend Friend. Susie Sheep has come to Peppa's house to play. Susie has brought her friend Leo Lion. But Peppa can't see Leo anywhere.
He's a pretend friend,
Susie explains.
That means he's invisible.
Oh, says Peppa.
Would Leo like to be my friend too?
Roar, says Susie.
That means yes.
Mummy Pig has cut 2 slices of fruitcake for Peppa and Susie.
Don't forget about Leo,
says Peppa. Mummy Pig doesn't know who Leo is.
He's Susie's pretend friend,
explains Peppa. Mummy Pig gets an extra chair and a plate for Leo. Then asks if he would like some fruitcake.
Roar! Yes,
says Peppa, giggling.
Don't be silly, Peppa, that was you,
says Susie.
Leo doesn't like fruitcake. Leo would like to play dressing up now,
says Susie. Peppa dresses up as a fairy and Susie makes a wish that she could be a queen.
If you're a queen, Leo can be the jester,
says Peppa. Susie doesn't like that idea.
Leo's a king, Peppa,
she says. I hear you have a special visitor, Peppa, says Daddy Pig.
It's only Susie, Daddy,
says Peppa.
Don't forget about Leo,
says Susie.
King Leo Lion.
Daddy Pig bows to King Leo. Daddy Pig is pleased to meet a king. What a fine mane you have, Leo, says Daddy Pig.
Yes, and he's wearing his best red trousers,
adds Susie.
And his special blue shirt, adds Peppa. His shirt is yellow, not blue, says Susie.
Peppa and Susie's friends have come round to jump in muddy puddles. Mummy Pig tells everyone to put their welly boots on. Everyone has so much fun splashing in the puddles. What about Leo? Calls Daddy Pig. Are you sure he should be in those muddy puddles without his boots? Luckily, Peppa's old boots will fit Leo perfectly.
Hooray! His paws get so muddy, you know,
says Susie. Everyone loves jumping in muddy puddles, even pretend friends. The end. Peppa Pig, the official annual 2023. Story time. Sailing boat. Grandpa Pig is taking Peppa and George sailing. Ahoy there, Grandpa Pig, says Mr. Stallion. Hello, says Grandpa Pig. We're just going out for a sail. It's a bit early for sailing, says Mrs. Corgi. You can't go now. Thank you for your advice, says Grandpa Pig, walking to his boat. Grandpa, says Peppa, your friends said we can't go sailing. They don't know what they're talking about, says Grandpa Pig. He jumps on his boat with Peppa and George. Oh, bother, he says, seeing that the boat is stuck in the mud. The tide seems to be out. Oh, no. So we can't go sailing, Grandpa? Asked Peppa. Don't worry, the water will come back again soon, says Grandpa Pig. Look, cries Peppa, the water is coming back. Hooray! The water lifts Grandpa Pig's boat out of the mud. We're bobbing up and down, cries Peppa. Let's go sailing, shouts Grandpa Pig. Aye, aye, Captain Grandpa, shouts Peppa. Off we go, says Grandpa Pig as he sails his boat. Peppa and George giggle. Sailing is a lot of fun. Mr. Stallion and Mrs. Corgi sail up to Grandpa Pig's boat. Ahoy there, Grandpa Pig, calls Mrs. Corgi. Time to head back, old chap, says Mr. Stallion, or you'll get stuck in the mud. Right you are, thank you, says Grandpa Pig. Bye. But Grandpa Pig doesn't listen to his friends. He thinks he knows more about sailing, and suddenly... splat! Grandpa Pig's boat stops bobbing. Oh no! Ah, the tide seems to have gone out, says Grandpa Pig. Are we stuck in the mud again, Grandpa? asked Peppa. Yes, says Grandpa Pig. But only till the tide changes, then the water will lift us up again. When will the water come back, Grandpa? asked Peppa. Tomorrow morning, says Grandpa Pig. We'll just have to spend the night on the boat. A sleepover! Cheers, Peppa. Hooray! Grandpa Pig calls Granny Pig to tell her they are spending the night on the boat, and then he takes Peppa and George below deck. "Here is where you will sleep," says Grandpa Pig, showing Peppa and George 2 little beds. "Ooh!" cry Peppa and George. They climb into their beds, say night-night to Grandpa Pig, and soon they fall fast asleep. "Night-night, Peppa and George," says Grandpa Pig, as he tucks himself into his sleeping bag under the twinkling stars. When Peppa and George wake up the next morning, they can feel the boat bobbing up and down again. "We're bobbing up and down," cries Peppa. "Time to sail home," says Grandpa Pig. "Aye, aye, Captain Grandpa," says Peppa. Grandpa Pig sails his boat home. Granny Pig is waiting. "Hello, my little ones," she says. "Did you have a nice time?" "Yes," cries Peppa. "We got stuck in the mud and had a sleepover." Granny Pig chuckles. Peppa loves sailing. Everyone loves sailing. The end. Learn with Peppa Pig. Level 4. The Paper Plane Contest. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, and Daddy Pig was reading his newspaper on the lawn. Peppa Pig asked, "Can we have some of your newspaper?" He handed some over. Peppa and George exploded into the house with their sheets of paper. Mummy Pig helped them make the paper into planes. "Let's go and play with the planes." Mummy Pig threw her plane first. It flew all the way to the field beyond the garden. "We should have a contest. If your plane flies the furthest, you win a prize." Peppa pretended to be a pilot. Her plane glided into the field, but George's crashed like a stone into the duck pond. George was silent. Peppa shrieked, "Mine flew furthest, I win!" George burst into tears. He wanted to win too. Daddy Pig went inside. He looked all over the room, crawled under the desk and looked in his briefcase. "I was sure I saw it in here." Aha! Peppa and George saw a big blue sheet behind the printer. Wow. It would make the biggest plane yet. They took it to Mummy Pig. She was the chief plane maker. Peppa and George took their new plane to Daddy Pig with pride. "I'm amazed," he said. "I hope it glides well," Peppa said. Daddy Pig explained. "Now, this plane belongs to all of us. We are not competing, so we all win." Peppa nodded. The plane flew into the clouds and then landed in the field. Peppa and George both smiled and clapped. They flew paper planes for the rest of the day. They all counted to 3 and threw their planes. They all counted to 3 and threw their planes. It was fun to win, but gliding lots of planes at the same time was even better. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa Meets the Queen. Peppa and her family are watching television. Suddenly, there is a special announcement from the Queen.
The Queen, the Queen!
Peppa cheers. Hello to you all, the Queen says. Today I have decided to give an award to the hardest working person in the country.
Wow!
The hardest working person in the country is Miss Rabbit. At the supermarket, Miss Rabbit is closing the shop when Mr. Zebra the postman presents her with a golden letter. Miss Rabbit, please come to my palace to get a medal for all your hard work. Bring friends, all the best, the Queen. I can't visit the Queen, I've got too much work to do, Miss Rabbit panics.
Don't worry, Peppa says. The Queen has made it a holiday.
It is the day Miss Rabbit visits the Queen. Peppa and her friends are going too.
We're off to see the Queen, we're off to see the Queen. E-I-I-D-O, we're off to see the Queen.
Here we are, Miss Rabbit squeaks.
Wow! Look at all the fancy stuff.
Woof, Danny Dog says. Don't touch anything, Miss Rabbit warns.
Where is the Queen?
Emily Elephant asks.
Queen!
Susie Sheep calls.
Where are you?
In another fancy room, there is a lady sitting on a throne knitting.
Hello,
Peppa says.
have you seen the Queen today?
I am the Queen, the lady says.
The children are very excited to meet you, Your Majesty,
says Miss Rabbit. I'm excited to meet all of you, the Queen says, standing up. And now for Miss Rabbit's medal.
Wow!
This is the Queen's award for industry. Keep up the good work. The Queen puts a shiny gold medal over Miss Rabbit's head. Cheers for Miss Rabbit, the Queen says. Hip hip!
Hooray!
Shout the children. Miss Rabbit and the children wear their boots to go out into the palace gardens with the Queen.
Do you play in your garden all the time, Your Majesty?
Danny Dog asks. I don't have time for playing, no, answers the Queen. She suddenly stops. Oh dear, a muddy puddle. Never mind, we can walk around it.
You can't walk around a muddy puddle,
Peppa says.
You have to jump in it.
Peppa shows the Queen how to jump up and down in a muddy puddle. I say, that does look fun, the Queen says. Here one goes then.
Stop!
Shouts Peppa. Everyone gasps.
If you jump in muddy puddles, Peppa says, you must wear your boots, Your Majesty.
The Queen goes inside and comes back with her boots on. Everyone loves jumping up and down in muddy puddles, including the Queen. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Royal Party. Peppa and her family were very excited when Mr. Zebra, the postman, arrived with a special letter.
This is for you, Mummy Pig, he said. It has a crown on it. I think it must be from the Queen. Wow!
Mummy Pig opened the envelope very carefully.
What does it say? cried Peppa.
It's an invitation, said Mummy Pig. The Queen is giving me an award for the book I wrote.
Wow.
She has invited us and her friends to her Platinum Jubilee garden party.
Hooray!
Oh, goody,
said Peppa.
what's a platinum jubilee party?
It's a special party to celebrate the Queen having been Queen for 70 years, explained Daddy Pig.
Wow,
gasped Peppa.
she must be nearly as old as you, Daddy.
Daddy Pig chuckled. Almost, he said. Peppa phoned her friends to invite them to the Queen's party.
There will be lots of guests,
Peppa told Rebecca Rabbit,
Wow.
I'll ask my mummy to pack a giant picnic,
said Rebecca.
The Queen has a big garden,
Peppa told Susie Sheep.
we should take some games to play. Yippee!
cried Susie.
I'll do that. What should I wear?
asked Danny Dog.
Your smartest clothes,
said Peppa.
and bring boots for jumping in puddles. I know just what to pack,
said Freddy Fox. The Queen sent a big red bus to take everyone to the palace. Are you sure we need all these bags? asked Daddy Pig. You can't turn up to a royal party without bringing anything, said Mummy Pig. That'd be very rude. Oh, very true, said Daddy Pig. We wouldn't want to be rude. Peppa and her friends made up a song on their way to the palace. They sang it very loudly.
It's the royal party today, let's sing all the way. It's the royal party today, hip hip hooray.
As the bus got closer to the palace, there were lots of people setting up their own garden parties for the Queen's Jubilee. Peppa and her friends tried to do special little royal waves. Lots of people are celebrating with the Queen today, said Daddy Pig. When they arrived at the palace, everyone was very excited.
I think there will be a giant chocolate fountain,
whispered Susie.
70 giant chocolate fountains,
said Freddy.
I think she will have an enormous gold cake,
whispered Peppa.
70 enormous gold cakes,
said Freddy. The doors opened and they were led out to the palace gardens. They were surprised to see no food or drinks or games. Hello now, said the Queen. Thank you for coming. I'm afraid we had a slight hiccup.
Sorry to hear you have hiccups, Your Majesty,
said Peppa. No, I'm quite all right, replied the Queen. It's my party planner. He got the date muddled up. He thought the Jubilee was tomorrow, so we cannot have my party today. Oh no! Everyone gasped.
But you must have your party, Your Majesty,
said Peppa. Must I? asked the Queen.
Oh yes, said Peppa. The whole country is waiting to celebrate with you.
I'm not sure I can, said the Queen. I don't have any party things.
We've brought some with us. What do you need?
asked Peppa. That's very kind, but we need an awful lot, said the Queen. Food for all the guests.
My mummy sent this picnic for everyone,
said Rebecca, unpacking a giant picnic with plates of cakes, sandwiches and jellies.
My dad packed these teapots and chairs,
said Freddy.
They're made of real fake gold.
This picnic looks wonderful, said the Queen. But what will we do other than eat and drink? I don't have any games.
I have these, Your Majesty, said Susie, who had 3 big boxes of garden games.
Wow!
Will they be okay?
What fun, said the Queen. Yes, they will do quite nicely. Peppa and her friends pulled out balloons, bunting, and even a music box from their bags. Soon the garden was transformed into a royal party fit for a queen. How extraordinary, said the Queen. You have brought everything one needs for a royal party. You could say we pulled it out of the bag, ma'am, said Daddy Pig. When the other guests started to arrive, they were very impressed. It looks wonderful, they said. This is the best jubilee ever. The Queen presented Mummy Pig with her award. Then everyone tucked into the picnic. But as they finished eating... Oh no, gasped the Queen. I believe it's raining. Whatever shall we do?
Don't worry, said Peppa. I've got an idea.
Peppa whipped out a pair of boots with a crown on them and pointed at a muddy puddle.
I brought a spare pair of boots for you, Your Majesty.
How delightful, Peppa, said the Queen. I dare say a royal party is not a royal party without some muddy puddle jumping.
3 cheers for the Queen! And Peppa!
Everyone cried. That evening, everyone sat down to watch the Queen make a speech. I would like to thank Peppa Pig, said the Queen. Without her help, my Platinum Jubilee would not have gone ahead. I am giving her the Queen's Award for Royal Party Planning. One does love a royal party, said Mummy Pig. Everyone loves a royal party. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.